All right. My name is Arvind Venugopal, and for those who don't know me, I'm a playback singer who works predominantly in the Malayalam film industry. I've also sung songs in Tamil, Kannada, and Telugu. My grandmother was a music teacher. Her sisters were renowned classical musicians. My father, two of my aunts, and a cousin sister are very popular playback singers in South India. See, you can believe when I say that I had no control over my career choice. I'm kidding, of course. Just like most of you, music has been a part of my life in happiness and sadness, in sickness and soundness. Music has been a constant companion. And I'm here to talk about how we as singers bring in voice modulations that affect the experience of the listeners. And I'm going to call my presentation Giving Meaning to Lyrics. So a song's journey can start from anywhere, but predominantly how a film song is made is a composer composes a tune, the lyricist is brought in to write lyrics for the tune, and then the singer is called to sing. And we make certain creative choices as singers that affect the listener's experience. It enhances the listener's experience. So let's talk more about what voice modulation is. Voice modulation is the ability to change the pitch, volume, tone, and pace of one's voice according to the purpose, content, and audience. And as far as film music is concerned, it's also the situation in which the song is placed. What is pitch? Pitch is the frequency of sound wave produced, the highness or lowness of the sound. For example, it's that's the pitch. Volume is the power of the sound produced, degree of loudness. So, for example, it's that's how I modulate my voice. It's the same note, but the volume is different. Tone is the sound, color, or timbre of the voice. This is my natural tone of my voice. I can also speak like this. I can also speak like this. These are different tones, and we can modulate that. Pace is the speed in which lines are delivered. It's just the speed in which I speak. So I'm going to explain each of these with examples, and I'm going to be singing these songs, and I'm going to tell you in detail how the singer has made certain choices with his voice modulation that has affected the song and has given it more meaning. So let's take pitch or scale. I'm going to take Rari Rari Ram. It's a Malayalam song. It's a lullaby. I hope a couple of you must have heard this song. So imagine me singing. So I'm going to sing the basic tune. So it's Rari Rari Ram Raro, Rari Rari Ram Raro. That's the song. So what if I singing it Rari Rari Ram Raro, Rari Rari Ram Raro. I can also sing it like Rari Rari Ram Raro, Rari Rari Ram Raro. I'm singing the same tune, but I sound different in each pitch. So we singers are blessed with a certain vocal range, and we can, with a lot of practice, we can extend the highs and lows, but more or less we're gifted with a vocal range. And this song, composed by Mohan Sitara, he decided that this particular singer, who also happens to be my father, G. Venugopal, his voice range is perfect for this song. So he's called him, and it's also because that particular voice range is where the singer shines, and he's able to bring out the best possible output for that song. So that is the pitch, and I've given you an example of Rari Rari Ram, and this happens for every other song. The first thing that I ask a composer when he calls me for a song is in which scale the song is set. So if you have music friends, you must have heard song is in C sharp or G minor or F sharp. So as singers, we know our limitations. So which scale that we're really good at, which scale that we struggle with. So these are conversations that we have with the composer. And the composer is the one who decides that this particular song has to be in this scale because it suits the narrative. Volume, or as we call it, dynamics. Volume is basically, as I said, the degree of loudness. And the volume depends on the situation of the song, where it's placed within the narrative, what the characters in the song are doing. Are they in a closed room? Are they out in the open? Is it a sad song? Is it a celebratory song? So the volume affects each of these choices. So I've taken two examples. One is Ikk Kudi from Urta Punjab and Kesariya from Brahmastra. The reason I've taken these two songs is both of these songs come in very similar situations. Both are from the point of view of the male protagonist, and both of them have just fallen in love with a girl, and they're expressing this love through a song. But the way the singers have sung it are very different. The way they've changed the volume or dynamics of the song are very different. Take, for example, Ikk Kudi. The way it's sung is Ikk Kudi जिताना मोहब्बत गुम है गुम है गुम है. I hope you can see what the translation is. It literally means a girl whose name is love is missing, is missing, is missing. So if you've seen the film, it comes in a situation where Shahid Kapoor, the actor, is singing the song. He's locked in a hospital room and he's singing about this girl to one other person. So it's a very secretive, it's a very private conversation that he's having with one other person. So it's a little soft. Take, for example, Kesariya from Brahmastra. Again, the male protagonist has just realized that he's fallen in love with a girl, but he wants to scream that love from the top of the roofs, from the top of the roof. So the way he sings it is, मुझको इतना बताए कोई कैसे तुझसे दिल ना लगाए कोई. So as you see, very similar situation, but the way the singers have sung it are very different. This is what we say modulating the volume or dynamics. Next is the tone of the voice. I've taken two songs sung by our very own KJ Yeshudas. So I'm going to tell you how the same singer has changed his tone in two different songs. One is Kattadichu from the movie Tulabharam that came out in 1952. It's a very sad song. So the way he sings it is Kattadichu, Kodum Kattadichu, Kayalile Vilakumaram Kannadachu. If I sing it like Kattadichu, Kodum Kattadichu, it becomes a totally different song. So he's singing it in a tone that exaggerates the sadness within the lyric. So it's Kattadichu, Kodum Kattadichu, Kayalile Vilakumaram Kannadachu. That's how he sung the song. The same singer, when it comes to another beautiful song, which is Alliyambal Kadavil from Rosi, he's a little more controlled, he's more romantic because it's a very romantic song. So I'm going to take the first stanza of the song. It goes, Thamarappu nee dure kandu mohichu appol thaazhe njan neenti chennu poovu pottichu pinne tandodinja thamara njan kondu vannappol penne nin kaveelil kandu mattoru thamarakaadu. So he doesn't sing it Thamarappu nee dure kandu mohichu. It's the same tone, but it means something different. The context changes slightly. It's not a private conversation anymore. And the last line, what does the composer decide to do? The line that goes, Pin pinne penne nin kaveelil kandu mattoru thamarakaadu. What does he do next? The composer decides he's going to cut all the instruments. And he has the singer sing the same line just slower. And what does the singer do? He goes even more softer. That's how a singer modulates his tone. Pace. Pace is not just the pace in which the entire song is set. A celebratory or a dance number, obviously the pace of the song is a little different from a very sad or unplugged romantic number. It's also the pace in which the singer pronounces each word. So let's take, for example, the song called Aajare Aazara from Love in Tokyo. It's sung by the legend Mohammed Rafi. So listen to how he just says the word Zara every time, every time he says it. So the tune goes, Aajare Aazara, lehra ke Aazara, आंखों से दिल में समा आजा रे आ जरा. Every time he says the word it becomes longer and longer, as if the longing for the woman becomes stronger and stronger as the song progresses. So the first time he sings it, it's Aaja re aa zara. The next time he sings it, it becomes Aaja re aa zara. And by the end of the song, it goes Aaja re aa zara. You see how he changed the pace of just that one word, and it adds more meaning to the lyric. Yeah? So I've explained how tone, volume, pace, and the pitch affects the listeners and how they experience the song. So what if the song is a little more complicated? So I've told you about Kesariya, Ikk Kudi, Ajare Azara. More or less, the song in totality talks about one thing. It's about love for a woman or sadness. It's just one emotion. What if it's a little more complicated than that? The song talks about sadness and happiness. What if it's a fine line between joy and despair, which is why I've taken this particular song called Abhi Mujh Mein Kahin from Agnipath, beautifully sung by Sonu Nigam. This is a perfect example of how great poetry has been turned into one of the best songs to come out in the last 20 years. And he's used all these four things that I've talked about, the pitch, the volume, the tone, the pace. He's made use of all of these and he's rendered the lines. And I'm going to take it line by line so that you understand it. So the tone in which he starts is Abhi mujh mein kahin. He doesn't sing it Abhi, it's Abhi mujh mein kahin. And he also makes use of this technique called the vibrato, which is he doesn't sing it Abhi, he sings it like Abhi. It brings a little more vulnerability, right? The character is in great distress, but he's hopeful for something. It brings in a certain aspect of vulnerability to the song. So it's Abhi mujh mein kahin बाकी थोड़ी सी है जिंदगी. It's controlled, it's soft, as if it's a very internal conversation that the character is having with himself. Second line goes, जगी धड़कन नहीं जाना जिंदा हूँ मैं तो अभी. Watch the dynamics here. कुछ ऐसी लगन इस लम्हे में है. What does he do next? He opens up. It's no longer an internal conversation. It's as if he's speaking to someone above. ये लम्हा कहाँ था मेरा अब है सामने इसे छू लूं जरा मर जाऊं या जी लूं जरा खुशियाँ चूम लूं या रो लूं जरा. Ro is to cry. So what does he do? He emphasizes on that one word, changes the pace. He literally cries. Ya ro loo zara. And then what does he do next? Mar jaun ya ji loo zara. Becomes an internal conversation again. Mar jaun ya ji loo zara. And that's how the singer turned great poetry into one of the best songs to come out in the last 20 years. I hope, I apologize if I made any mistakes in singing these songs. These are iconic singers. I learn from all of them every day as much as I learn from all my colleagues that I sing with every day. So I wish that music changes all of your lives only for the better. It was a pleasure singing for you and speaking about something that I'm very passionate about. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.